It's really important to avoid cliches like the plague. My name's Victor Ashley and I'm a real estate agent out of Seattle, Washington. This is how you get a hold of me. Also, you can leave a comment below, the snarkier the better, and while you're at it, please hit subscribe because I cover a lot of different topics, areas, zip codes, and concepts that might be important to you, and I could be talking about your neighborhood next. So feel free to follow along, and I really appreciate your support. So let's get into one right now. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and he lives inside the Everett area, and I haven't done Everett before, so I decided to put one together for you guys and actually review the Everett city as a whole. And we are looking at the April over April, so this April versus last April, the sales data and how things have changed in the last year. So I am going to do a quick walk on and hopefully you enjoy. So if you're new to the channel, what I usually do is I start with the Seattle Space Needle as our point of reference because not a lot of people outside of Seattle know where these areas are. But the Seattle Space Needle is the heart of Seattle, and Everett is located approximately 28 or 30 miles north of the Seattle Space Needle. This is just north of where I-405 and I-5 meet, right next to I-5. As well as it's next to the Boeing plant and just to the west, just to the east of Mukilteo. It's also in between Linwood and the Marysville area, and Linwood butts up against it, and I cover that area a lot in my videos, so I just wanted to give you an idea of where Everett is. Now, actually, and also because I like to add just a little bit of flavor here as well. El Pollo Loco is a barbecue Mexican restaurant that I really appreciate out here. I am friends with the owner, and I really appreciate that, this family they have great food. And if you have any questions, just reach out to me. But I recommend this spot. And if you have any questions on this kind of stuff, just, reach out to me. But I don't get sponsored by any of these. I just try to give a shout out to anybody that's in that area. So let's get into the actual data behind Everett. And I always link the census data as well if you're curious on this kind of thing. But the median income is about $70,000 a year, household income. And it's about 110,000 population right now. And that is as of 2020. And then all the breakdowns are in here as well. But primarily what we're seeing is this is just more of a quote unquote working class suburb. So let's get into the actual numbers behind the sales inside of Everett, Washington. So last year, April 2022, the total sales in this area were 216 homes sold. So 216 homes were sold. It was $430 a square foot. Also, that came out to an average just under $700,000 was the average house being sold at that time. 6 days on market, 3 beds, 2 bath, and a little under 1,700 square feet. Now, this year though, we've seen actually more than 100 homes less. So there was only 104 homes sold this year. And then the average price per square foot came out to $485 a square foot, just under $600,000, 24 days on market, so an additional 18 days. And again, 3 beds, 2 bath, and just over 1,600 square feet. Now, what I did also, because I try to keep this as comparison apples to apples as possible, I averaged the two sizes together and then I multiply that against the price per square foot. And now I can actually tell you what the homes were comparison, just apples to apples. So last year, the adjusted sales price was just over $711,000. And this year, the adjusted sales price was just under $637,000. And that came out to $74,000 decrease from in the last year. So $74,000 decrease in the last year. That is 10.4%. Also, I went through and I did the mortgages. So the mortgages last year on average would have cost you about $3,500, only including your payment and your interest, to qualify for a loan of that caliber with a $50,000 down payment. Then this year, same down payment, same scenario, different interest rate, it came out to $4,025. What that averages out to is just under $500 additional every single month in the price going up. Not only that, but you also lost about $75,000 worth of purchasing power. Now, also because I try to make this as, I cover all my bases whenever possible. The rent in this area was $28.65 when I averaged that same size house versus $1.73 from what I can tell is the average rent. Now, that's about 140% rent to buy ratio, so it would cost you 140% more to buy right now than it would to rent. Here's our issue also. As a buyer, you may be thinking, hey, $74,000, now's a better time to buy. Well, the cost has gone up on the interest rates. As a renter, you might be sitting there and saying, hey, I'm saving money because I'm renting. You're not building any equity. On the other hand, also, so 3 ways you lose. If you're a seller, you're sitting there and you're like, I just had a 10% loss in my equity. Is it better for me to rent this out or to sell it right now? If you rent this out, you're more than likely going to lose, on average, $750 to $1,000 on rent a month. Just so you're aware, that is going to be a huge issue when you try to make that up. Life happens. I cover it in this video right here. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to go into it for you. So the reason why I do this is because I try to give a general idea and a synopsis of what's going on in the real estate market in this area, as well as, a couple of suburbs that I have some friends in. If you have any questions on this or you have any concerns or feedback for me, drop me a line. Here's my number right here. Looking forward to talking to you. And as always, it was a pleasure working with you today, and I hope you have a fantastic day.